really shocked.
You could pretend like you're like just a photographer, but really you're going in and like learning all the undercover like secret. I'm kidding.
Like, what are they doing over here? What's that new toy they have? I got to look into it. But anyways, and when I was approaching Excelsior Orthodontics, which is my brand new startup opening in Perseville, Virginia.
Perseville, I'm in Round Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Perseville. I grew up in Sterling.
Okay. Perseville's much better than Sterling, in my opinion.
I think it's different. I grew up in Sterling since 1990.
Okay.
So I was there from what I remember. It was just a Heckinger's. It wasn't even Burlington Coat Factory. It was just trees. And the only thing in Cascades was a library.
Wow.
So when Ruby Tuesday opened, it was like an hour wait to get to Ruby Tuesday and another hour for a hamburger.
There we go.
But anyways, we're like digressing all over the place.
I know, sorry.
With Excelsior, I was doing a lot of research with, started with the logo making. I was inspired a lot by the same firm that made the NBC logo, Animal Planet, Sagi Haviv, that's his name.
Okay.
And I'm looking at his content, and I'm looking at a guy named Future.
Okay.
Who
Christo.
I love him. Yeah.
He is my guy.
It was so good.
He's so good.
And then he's giving free marketing advice to other marketers. Yes. That was like the funny thing.
Is
beautiful.
YouTube, yeah. Like not just the look and feel, but the content, the quality
it's so good.
Is so good.
Yes. That's what I was like going for. Because I'm like, okay, we're in the day of TikTok, which is just super fast paced. And I never had it until like a year ago. And I don't have anything now, but it's just 10 seconds is all you get. And we're always used to this video podcasting, like what we're doing here with the Shure's SM7Bs. And I have 2 of those. And I'm like, okay, how do I give like a Christo feel? Because no other orthodontist or even dentist is doing that.
100%.
You go back to the whole camera thing where they're like, oh, let me hire a generic videographer. And it's like the camera setup. You have the light. And then the camera will be here. You're supposed to look at this person and 2/3 on the lens, like the framework like this. Yeah. And it's like, okay. It's like, oh, welcome to this office, da da da. And they roll some B-roll and it's a voiceover. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most boring stuff ever.
All right, Lo, we got to change our setup. No kidding.
I'm like, and I'm just like, oh my God, there's nothing.
But you saw what you didn't like.
I saw what I didn't like. And then I'm like, okay, I saw Christo's stuff and I'm like, this is really different.
Yeah.
Microphone, the headphones, right into the camera, and then in the hat too. And then he would like cut like 10 seconds to it with a zoom in, with B-roll and like splicing. And I'm like, okay, how do I do that? What do I have to do? So I just got like, I had the Shure microphones for like the longest time, for like 6 months. I just got clout lifters, XLR cables. Oh man. A Zoom H6. Now I got to build my own.
You want to be a client? Come over here. Come back in the podcast room.
Right.
Quick.
Right. Yeah. So I got to get that all set up, and I'm not sure how I'll use it yet, but
you're going to use it.
You got to use vertical content, and then now that Google is just so strong, you can tie in your YouTube channel to Google, and it's all just with SEO all meshed together. So
you're a marketer, but you're going to go into the dental field.
I just happen to be an orthodontist at the same time.
Field. Yeah. So you're just like, you're going to combine those 2 passions and really create something that's like state of the art, especially in this area.
Pretty much. Trying to. But it's just engaging and trying to give information and content, and wherever patients want to use it, they can go somewhere.
Do you know Natasha Gillis? She's a lawyer, smiling dentist, smiling lawyer. It's her name of her Instagram handle. Connect with her. She has been preaching what you are actually doing to dentists and orthodontists to do.
Yeah.
Because they don't
get it.
Get it. So I actually filmed some of her podcasts for her here.
Okay.
And so she brought in different orthodontists, and dentists, and I got to kind of listen to like the mindset and the all amazing people, obviously, but they were so educational. And she keeps telling them, you need to be sharing this information with the thousands of people online who would love to know about all these different pieces. Yeah. Like just educate them. Just do what you're doing right now, but just do it with a camera in your face.
Right.
But you're like going to be ahead of the curve.
Trying to be a little bit. It takes a lot of work though. Like this is not that skill set of like putting it out in the open and being in front of a camera or even having the right setup. Because I don't want to just take a phone. It's so easy to do a phone, and then they do like that, I don't know, like an Instagram remix where they're like blue screen out and they're showing some sort of reaction in the background.
Yeah, like
And I'm like,
stuff,
that's not Chris Doe. Chris
Yeah.
Doe wouldn't make it like that. I'm like, no, what do I got to do to get there?
Yeah.
So too bad my laptop is like 12 years old.
You
It got me
might
through
get
like
it,
grad school and dental school and residency.
Yeah.
I couldn't even download Final Cut Pro
Oh,
because it's like,
gosh.
oh no, Apple wouldn't even let me update my
Yeah.
OS system. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
I know. We've had to buy
I
some
gotta-
computers before we're like, it won't even take.
yeah.
We just got this 3 years ago, but it still won't take the
Yeah.
newest version.
So I'm doing everything backwards. I'm building my whole set. The second bedroom of my apartment will be like a little studio, kind of like this, and my workstation and everything.
Oh, what type of guests are you gonna have on there? Is it just gonna be you for right now? Like educational
For now,
content?
it's just me. I host a podcast myself through Zoom where I actually speak to probably maybe like a couple thousand dentists and orthodontists across the country.
Nice.
So that's something that's not really on public right now. It's called Dental Dummies, where I actually work for my financial planner. Where
Okay.
again, I went down the YouTube rabbit hole learning that skill set. So that's like my side hustle, where I speak on a lot of the Mid-Atlantic orthodontic residencies I've spoken to
Nice.
about financial education. Believe it or not, doctors don't know what taxes are when they're coming out.
No,
They don't know what a
it's like-
401k is.
Yeah.
They don't know how to handle student loans. Our average client probably has like $400,000, $500,000 worth of student loans.
Oh my gosh.
So knowing how to manage that. So then the owner of the company at CFS Dental Division, he's my best friend actually. We've grown that close. He's like, hey, I want to put this stuff online. And it was just us on our webcams on
That's
Zoom.
amazing.
And I'm like, okay, let's
So
just
there's
get this
like a
stuff going
pocket.
now.
There's like that's something there though in terms of the educational piece that you
Yep.
have, not just for patients, but then for actual other
Correct.
orthodontists and dentists and
Correct. I'm slowly building up my platform with them and getting my name out. So a lot of it is like word of mouth. As like, there's a lot of dentists that talk clinical stuff, but not a lot of dentists that talk marketing, cameras and photography, videography. I'm learning, and they're not talking about finances.
Yeah.
And how it works. They just want to do the clinical and like a paycheck comes and then they're just like, okay, forget it.
Check.
It is a lot of work to learn that other stuff. So
But the payoff can be really big
Yes.
because there's not a lot of people doing it.
correct.
So this is awesome. So then basically your focus, which this may be incorrect, correct me if I'm wrong, your focus is obviously opening up your practice and kicking butt on that end, but then really focusing on your platform for other dentists and orthodontists and related fields because that's vets, it can be more than just
Correct.
orthodontists and dentists. Like
Yeah.
the things that you're teaching and talking about can be applied to a lot of those professional services, right?
That's right. I talk very little about dentistry. I talk about the business of dentistry and
But more
gross
marketing.
revenue, overhead, but those rules are applicable to any business.
Yeah.
So coming from someone that's been in school for over a dozen years, you know very little to nothing about business. And it's just up to,
Your fiance's got a good mentor.
she said, she's chilling. She's just like, oh, thank God I got him. I don't have to worry. She's going to look cute and show up. And then I'm like, this is great.
Do this, talk
This
like
is
your
it.
posterior.
I told her, I'm like, hey, yeah, help me pick out the colors for the office.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have to worry about architect. You don't have to worry about permits. Just look cute, show up. Everybody's
like, I
going to
can do
love
that.
you. It'll be great. She goes, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. Let's do a quick transition here to the practice.
Yeah.
It's in Perseville.
Yes.
Tell me you're going to be marketing differently.
Yes.
You're going to be showing up differently. You know, Perseville's a little bit Western and a little bit old school.
I love it.
So tell me how you're gonna. What's your plans
I,
besides social media and blowing up online?
I chose Perseville because of opportunity.
Okay.
And growing up in this county, I'm like, well, they don't need another orthodontist in Sterling. We were actually, me and my fiance, we were driving to Berryville, and because there was nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is kind of like nobody there. It's really, really quiet. But then we drove back. Well, let's check out Perseville. I heard of this place. I just knew it was trees in Loudoun Valley.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew.
You're correct.
Then we see a Chick-fil-A, and then we see a Chipotle. I'm like, this was not here 10 years ago. I swear to you, babe. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we should
Just
look into
popped up.
this more. A lot of it was influenced by my time in West Virginia.
Okay.
where I appreciated more of the quieter life, more family oriented, not a lot of hustle and bustle. I'm like, all right, let's run some numbers and check it out. I think there's a good opportunity for us. And we're like, okay, we'll make this our home. But then with Perseville, a lot of it has to come down to person to person and relationships.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a type of area that thrives on large corporations by any means. We pride ourselves in being a one patient, one doctor practice. Even when my fiancée, Dr. Spinger, joins, I told her, we're not mixing patients. We can collaborate on ideas of how to treat patients. But when it's your patient, you will see that patient every single time. I will not, unless one of us is sick, and some exceptions.
What if they want to be seen by her and they're your original patient? Are you gonna feel sad? I'm kidding.
I'd be a little butthurt. I'm like, what? Why do you want to leave?
Like, I hurt you.
Maybe she's cuter, but I mean, like, okay. I mean, that'd be the only valid reason I'll take.
Outside of that,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
No, yeah, we believe in just a consistency and treatment.
People want to know who they're working with. They don't want to show up.
Correct.
Because there's this level of like, I know you, I like you, I trust you.
Correct.
And then this other person might also be likable, trustable, and all those fine things, but it's like that's not what I was expecting.
Right.
And so that like expectations have not been met,
Correct.
and automatically I don't trust the environment I'm going into. So that's
Correct.
great that you get that.
Correct. Yeah, it's with orthodontic treatment, it's minimum 12 months to 2-year kind of I won't say full on marriage, but I'll say a really strong relationship that you're going to work together to accomplish a goal of changing your smile.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in orthodontics, if you change out doctors a lot and you have a different provider, even if you're trained in the same place, and you will still have slight differences in philosophies and treatment plans. It is no different than if you're middle building a house and you change general contractor in the middle of it. Yeah, he knows how to put it together, but it's going to take some catching up and things get slowed down. And we just find that it's not what's most efficient for patients. And we just want what's best. Even we know, honestly, we could probably make more money if we just shared and just whoever was available and got them turned over. And I put my foot down. I said, I don't care. I said, you got to do what's best for the patient. Might make a little less money, but it will pay off in the long run because this is what we're going to be known for.
And the referrals and the goodwill and all that stuff that's going to be generated.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of like, you said small town, it's a lot of handshaking. It's a lot of getting to know people. Have you already started your marketing? And because this podcast is for small business owners, it's for the community as well.
Okay, great.
People that want to learn about the small business owners and just, I hate the word small, the business owners in our community.
Some small businesses are pretty big.
Yes, correct, right? But in terms of like for the business owners that are listening, what plans do you have to build and grow your presence in a community like Perseville?
I'll say, I guess I'll just speak on what I've been doing. The first thing was I joined the Loudoun Chamber of Commerce. I joined the Perseville Business Association, which unfortunately I work on Tuesdays over in Alexandria part-time to hold me over. So I can't be at like the monthly breakfasts. But I've been a part of a couple events with BNIs and lead shares. It's just, even though these other business owners that are kind of the same boat as you, we're all trying to hustle and trying to make it in this world and cover payroll and expenses. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, what's left for me? Yeah. Okay. You kind of struggle all together, but you know where each person's trying to work from, and they may know someone else that can help you, even if it's not directly from them. And I think that's like
the BNI philosophy.
Correct. Right. They may know somebody that may need your services.
And it's such a great way, I think, of growing too, because it's like if you and I are in a BNI together or just a networking group together. I used to have a monthly networking event that would meet monthly. And that was the way that I taught it too. It's like, don't sell to you directly, but you might know, like, sell the personality to you, because when you go and talk about the orthodontist that you met, you're going to want to refer me.
Correct. Yeah. People say very little, even just businesses, like of people that I've come to know. It's like, I actually know very little about like more or less the quality of their work. But a lot of it is like, this person was just great. They gave really good advice and value. at my first Loud in a Chamber event at the breakfast, one came up to me and just knew it was my first time, and I'm like really nervous that I have like only 5 business cards with me. You're supposed to bring like 100. That was a mistake. Bring lots of business cards. So I'm like, oh God, okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
You know what you do? You just take their business card and then you follow up with them.
Right, I did. So I take their cards. I have like an Excel sheet. I don't like email bomb all of them, but the ones I felt I had like a strong connection with, and one in particular said, reach out to me, let's get some coffee, and we did. And then she invited me to one of her BNIs, and then I kind of saw the value that she brought. Can I give a shout out to her? Am I allowed to?
Of course.
Karen Effico. She's over at
Yes.
Echo Title. Yeah.
And her. So she's been photographed here, and her husband Billy has been photographed here.
Okay.
And I just saw them on the football field last weekend.
Oh, okay. Oh, small world. Yeah, it was Karen. She was like the first one to come up to me and said, "Hey, let's chat." I live in Lovettsville. I'm like, oh my God, a local person.
Yeah.
This is great.
She's awesome.
I'm slowly getting to know Western Loudon, and she kind of just gave me some advice and stuff, and we stay connected now. A big supporter. And she's going to come to the grand opening and everything.
There we go.
It'll be good. So yeah, just getting to put yourself out there and don't be shy.
Relationships. It sounds like you're big on relationships too.
Yeah. But equality relationships, and not just handing out every business card in the world, or
only 5. Only handing out 5.
Is that your? Is that? That's all I had. That's all I could afford. I had like no money. I was like, oh, this is it. Okay.
You know what? Give me that piece of paper. I'm going to write my name.
Right. Give me your card. I'll write my information and give it back your card. There you go. Yeah.
I love that. So anything else in terms of like tips, tricks for business owners who are trying to expand locally, and maybe you saw something or you done something that you're like, if only people knew about this thing.
Lord.
Besides the Christo YouTube series.
Okay. Besides Christo and having a that type of online presence, I understand not everybody, well, I'll say 99% can't put in that kind of effort. But you have to have a passion for that one.
It's such a hard thing when you're starting a new business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people just don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Or they already have the business and they're like, how do I get more clients? It's the number one thing that people search is, how do I get more clients?
Okay.
And it can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be,
okay.
Right? Like, think about it. Like, you could literally just text, you follow any of Alex Hormozy's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And something that he had just shared was something, I'm going to butcher it, but like text 10 people that are on your contacts, let them know about what you're doing and ask them if they know somebody. It could be as simple as that to get a new client. Right? Or it could be something where they're like, let's create a whole YouTube series and spend $20,000 worth of equipment and pray and hope that somebody sees it. That's the right fit.
Right. I'll start with one actionable item. I'll do my best.
And I'm putting you on the spot, so.
Okay. I'll start with 2 actually. And I think this first one is probably the most important. And this is advice for dentists and orthodontists. I tell this all the time. Define your vision. If you think about starting a business or you're in the middle of doing it and you have random ideas, jot it down on that note app on your phone. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the most ridiculous thing. Like for me, I had like Air Jordans and Nikes. Has nothing to do with orthodontics, but I'm like, my office, all employees are actually required to wear Nikes or Air Jordans, and the first pair is supplied by me.
I was going to say, you're going to buy them the first pair?
I will.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. You can pass a 90-day probationary period. Oh, no, we're getting good ones. I'm not talking about like off-the-rack stuff. Like I'm going into like StockX and we're going to find a good pair, like some really, really good pair for you to like be proud of and enjoy. The only rule is you have to keep it clean, so don't go hiking in them.
There we go. It's a recruitment tool you're
going to put in. Correct. You got to look cool. Yeah. Again, a differentiator.
Yeah.
Define your vision. Any little simple or complex idea, write it down. The more clear you are, the more clarity you have about your future business. And with more clarity comes more conviction.
Yes.
So if you define what kind of clientele you're looking for, like Louis Vuitton doesn't care where Walmart is. Walmart does not care where Louis Vuitton is. They both sell clothes and bags. That has nothing to do with each other. It's 2 different markets. And Walmart's the bigger company.
Yeah.
So define like where you fit, and hopefully it is something where you can bring a skill set that is productive in the marketplace that people are willing to pay for. And if you bring value to them, then they will compensate you. They won't even think about like the price if it fits. Just have a really, really clear defined vision on every aspect of your life, um, down to the equipment you use, down to how you want to look online. And that's kind of what I've taken to myself. So when you walk in my space, which everybody here is invited to come check it out, I think you'll like it. You can see my personality like built throughout the whole space.
I love that.
Yeah, my contractor and my interior designer were wonderful. And my contractor, they try to take no credit because it was like, no, we just did whatever the designer told us. And she took my personality and just threw it on like the walls. And I'm like, okay, this does
Feels
have
good.
like my personality on it. And that's reflective of like any business.
Who was your designer? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I'll say, yeah. My floor plan itself was done by Ideal Practices, which is a dental specific startup company where they help out dentists do brand new startups all over the country, nationwide. And they have like the best floor plan designer in the world. That's workflow and where chairs are going to be at front desk and how it's designed and where you go. And then my interior designer is Allison Rasmus from Rasmus Interior Design. She's actually dental specific interior designer.
Nice.
But she does do houses too. So I already told her, you're hired for to build my future house that I don't have, and I don't have the land. Nothing yet. So she knows it. She was great, and her whole process was, it wasn't just, okay, show me your Pinterest and then I'll come back with a 3D rendering. No, it was like a 2-3 hour conversation about like, again, what's your vision? What are you trying to create? Are you trying to appeal to mostly kids? Are you trying to appeal to soccer moms? Both? You trying to appeal to like, the let's say 50 plus year olds? Like, what are you trying to get at? And then puts it all together on top of appealing photos that you tend to gravitate towards on like a house account or a Pinterest account. And then she
brings it to life.
Yeah, brings it to life. And then 3D rendering was cool when I first saw it. It was on a bad day for myself, for me and my fiancée. Not between us, we were great, but we were just like really sad at that moment because like something that happened, and we're like, I don't know if we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like, and then we see the 3D renderings, and I'm like,
we got to figure this out because we gotta make it.
This looked really good. I'm like, I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Then the finishes start going up, and I'm like, we're about trying to wrap it up like this week. I think we have final inspections this week, and I'll move furniture in next week, and it's really, really cool.
Hopefully you've been documenting the process, because that's going to be a cool reel video, right?
Oh,
Drop it up into like a 30-second.
No, I have multiple reels. Have you checked it out?
I haven't seen that specific one. No,
I'll show you.
Okay.
After all that, yeah. I have it from concrete to plumbing to framing to drywall to every little thing with music, and I'm trying to cut it on like CapCut.
Yeah, you know.
I'm like, what's CapCut? And I'm like, and I got like, how do I get the good music? If I use the business account versus the creator account, I'm like,
we've gone through that, haven't we?
See, I'm like, why do they get the good music and why this one doesn't? And I'm like, what's the differences? And that's just me at like 2 a.m, like this at nighttime, watching my phone before bed. I'm like, what the heck? How do I do this?
And I want to really quickly say something on your whole comment about vision. I think that that's the most important thing. I know anytime I have like inspiration for a project, because I do projects here, anytime I'm like in a lull, I'm like, I need a project to get myself excited.
Yeah.
Again, I have to have a vision so clear that I can literally see it happening before, anything has actually happened.
Right.
And I found myself struggle if I try to do something and that picture is not super clear in my mind. That's where I'll struggle if I can't actually see it. But when I can see it happening, it's already come to life.
Right.
It's already happened. And so now I'm just like working backwards to put all the pieces back in place. I had a project called the Loudoun 100 Project where I was highlighting 100 Loudoun County individuals who are doing cool things in the community. I saw the event I saw I saw the tears coming down people's faces when they like arrived on the scene. I saw the red carpet. I saw everything. So then when it came to putting it together, I was like, well, no, it needs to be done like this because the impact it needs to make has to be this way.
Right.
Versus just kind of like, I don't really know what's supposed to happen, but I kind of want to try this angle. So I think that vision piece, that piece of advice that you gave, is the most crucial.
It is.
Piece of any business.
It's really underrated. And I don't think enough people put enough thought into it. Like you can build a dental office. It's 4 walls, do some plumbing, put in a chair, and then put up a sign, I'm open. But, you know, there's no character behind it, you know. And I just have a really, really great team between my consultants, Allison, my contractor at Case Co.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam and Casey. Of course, Sam and Casey. Yeah.
Casey, I know Sam though.
Yeah, the brothers. Yeah. I identified my space like 2 years ago, and I was trying to get like an employee entrance into the door, and it was literally the unit next to theirs. And it's their building that I'm going into.
Sweet.
And I was like, hey, can I get this other door? And I haven't even signed the lease yet. I haven't signed nothing. I just simply looked at it with my realtor. And I went out to the space and I talked to them directly when I shouldn't have. And they're just like, oh, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. They're like, oh, do you have like, are you from like a large corporation or something? I'm like, no, I just graduated. I have no money. And they're just like,
but I'd like a door right here.
I'm like, can I get a door here though? If I come in this space? And they're like, we'll take a chance on you. Why not? They're great. They're so great to work with. You know, between not just like the lease, but building it out. And they're just like literally, hey, whatever your vision is what Casey kept asking me. Whatever your vision is, we'll make it happen. It's great.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Knowing that they had a hand in that,
yep.
I'm sure it's going to be a masterpiece.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Because I could talk to you for hours because you've got the creative brain.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking of like, what am I looking like in the frame? And I got like the lighting and everything. And I'm like, okay.
You look great.
I just learned what white balance was like a month ago. I'm mind blown. I've deprived myself for 4 years. I hate myself.
Like the blue face? Was yours always
It's either blue or it's orange.
Orange, yellowish.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on my
Hopefully
podcast.
that was good content.
I can't wait for your grand opening.
Yeah.
What's the official date?
October 9th, I'll put patients on the schedule. It's like starting October 9th.
What's the grand opening though?
Still figuring out that date.
TV.
Yeah, I think we're trying to aim for, and I literally just determined this last night with my fiance. I'm like, I think the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We're aiming for, because she has to get her butt down from Morgantown, 3 hours away, take a day off.
She can stand
there
pretty.
Yeah. I got to leverage something.
That's right.
I'm like, Harry, come on out. And you have to plan it out. But it's like, okay, let me get some patients in the door.
Yeah.
Get that thing set up. And then I think I could swing it in like a month of planning, month and a half. Maybe? Yeah.
I did it in like 2 weeks. You can do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Then I get, I gotta, see if that date's available with the Loudon Chamber, and then
get all the people out there.
All the stuff over there.
Well, we'll be sharing this episode before your grand opening. So hopefully the people that see it and watch it are able to come out and check it out and see all of you and your whole team's creative vision come to life.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome.
It's awesome.